Assalamu alaikum. The questioner is asking, what is your opinion on the claim that with Sheikh Hasina gone, Islamic extremists in Bangladesh have returned more openly? So, as you know, recently the Bangladeshi people overthrew their corrupt leader, Sheikh Hasina. She fled to India, and right now they're consolidating power, and who knows what's happened. I don't know too much about it, but what I do know is that Sheikh Hasina was nothing more than an Indian puppet, just like the other puppets like Ashraf Ghani and Bashar al-Assad. Whenever they were cornered because of the corruption, they fled to their masters' countries, Russia for Bashar, and Ashraf Ghani fled to the Dubai, which is a U.S. ally, and Hasina likewise fled to India, who was the main master she was serving against the interests of her own people. So she did deserve to get toppled. Whether the Bangladeshi Muslims establish Islamic law or not remains to be seen. If you are a Muslim in Bangladesh, this should be the number one slogan, the number one thing you advise your officials. You should be demanding the establishment of Islamic law, because if you're going to replace one corrupt leader with another system that's corrupt, it's going to be the same result. Allah is not going to give you guys prosperity under an un-Islamic system. So the question is asked, it goes on to say, because of this ousting, Islamic extremists are taking power basically, and being more open about wanting an Islamic government. Well, Bangladesh is a majority Muslim country, so wanting Islamic law in our own countries isn't extreme. So I don't know if the questioner is trying to point to a particular group or something, because there aren't any Islamic extremists in Bangladesh to my knowledge. So wanting an Islamic government isn't extreme. So the majority is a Muslim country. We should have Islamic law, and under Islamic law, there's two opinions on whether paganism would be outlawed or if a jizya tax can be charged. We Muslims pay the zakat tax, non-Muslims pay jizya tax. It's the one of two taxes under Islamic law. The other tax is a land tax, not a property tax like in India and the United States, where the tax is tied to the property value, because that could just keep going up endlessly, right? And then you have to pay more money, a subscription on something you already own. The land tax is on the acres of land that you own, so that no one buys up all the land and leaves other people homeless, or a renter's nation like what's happening in the United States. But there's no income tax, there's no sales tax. Actually, a non-Muslim would save more money paying just the jizya tax and the land tax than all the taxes they're paying in a non-Muslim country like the United States. And there are exemptions, such as if the non-Muslim is serving in the military, because that jizya tax is in exchange for protecting them and letting them benefit from our lands, which, doesn't seem like a lot right now, because our lands are weak and not prospering because they don't have Islam established. But if Hindus want to continue living in Bangladesh, and you go by that opinion, they have to be charged that jizya tax. Also weeds out who's a rebel, because anyone who doesn't like Islam and refuses to pay that tax will absolutely work against us when an enemy tries to invade us, or if we try to fight an enemy, there'll be like a dagger at our backs. So they would be a rebel, and they should be executed according to Islam. The other opinion in Islam is that paganism in general has to be outlawed. So we don't charge them jizya tax. Jizya tax is only for Jews and Christians, and not the Hindus and the Buddhists and the atheists, etc., etc. We would outlaw those religions, and anyone who rebels against that, again, would be counted as a rebel, and we would fight them, and there wouldn't be any more of them in the end. So personally, if you're a Hindu living in Bangladesh, you should go back to India. That's why that country exists in the first place. There was a partition to make that country a Hindu country. Of course, there's a lot of people who were Hindus in that country that became Muslim that are living there. They have a right to the laws of that country under a democracy. India isn't a Hindu, there is no Hindu law. It's a democracy. So under their democracy, you have freedom of religion, right? So anyway, what I'm saying is we're focusing on Bangladesh right now. The Hindus there, especially the Hindu Tifa groups, should be immediately arrested, apprehended, and punished for treason. and the innocent Hindus, they should be exchanged for the Muslim prisoners, and they should be used as leverage to get India to stop occupying Kashmir. That's my opinion on the issue. Because the Hindus, and I used to believe in the other opinion. I used to believe that they could be given jizya tax, but recently I've seen a lot of things from India that changed my mind, like how they treated Muslims in India. They lynched them on a regular basis. They occupy Kashmir and kill Muslims there. They support our enemy Israel, sending them weapons. So this changed my mind and made me believe that we cannot coexist with pagans in our country. So we should definitely outlaw it. That's my opinion. Assalamu alaikum.